Hello everyone, welcome. I wanted this month to make some kind of relationship reading, but since it's already so late in the month and it's 20th, I decided to do something mini, like a mini pick a card reading, pick a pile reading. So this reading we have 3 piles, so you can choose from those 3 crystals that I put here as a little help for picking. This reading is meant for relationships, be it romantic or platonic, but something that is rather confusing for you and you would like to clear it up or gain some more clarity generally on the situation with that person, or what is generally the energy right now of the relationship. But I hope regardless it will be helpful for you. So I will ask you now to intuitively pick one of the piles here and then go into my description or comment section and choose a timestamp for this reading. Okay, let's get started. You can now pick your pile. Hello, pile number 1. You choose this clear mountain crystal. Very beautiful. So, pile number 1, what is going on in your relationship? What is like a general energy for you? Okay. Pile number 1, group number 1. What's going on in your relationship? What's the situation? Okay, we have 6 of Wands reversed. Okay, there's something to do with a delay or something not going exactly as planned, something maybe not working out, or something being in the way right now. Let's see what else is right now going for pile number 1 in the relationship, romantic or platonic. Okay, we have the Star, so there's hope, there's putting in constant energy into it, putting intention into it. So there is intention, there is work being put into it. Okay, so there is 8 of Cups reversed. Okay, I have a feeling that some of you might be thinking about leaving this connection, about giving up in a certain way, or rather you see the possibility here for this thing ending, or you having the opportunity to kind of like let go of it and move on. But I feel like most of you, there is still hope in this relationship. There's still work being put into it. So I would say even though there is a possibility for 2 of you kind of moving on with your lives, I feel like there's still hope, there's still willingness to put intention, work, hope into this. Okay, so even though things aren't working out, even though it might be going into the direction of you moving on, I feel like you or both of you or someone in the relationship is still willing to put in the work. They are still willing to make it work, but there's definitely certain resistance from moving forward, from leaving this thing behind. Okay, but it might be also rather of like it might also be just holding on to it, even though it's not working out, and it might not be in the best way. But let's get more wider perspective onto that. Okay, since it's looking more of like psychological thing, we'll go with this Deviant Moon Tarot and we will see what's psychologically going on under that. Okay, what's the reasoning behind that? Okay, what's going on in that relationship you have with that person. Okay, King of Cups reversed. Okay, there's certain trouble with managing emotion in this relationship you have. Maybe people are you or the other person are acting too much on your emotions. There's too much feelings controlling your relationship in a certain way. Just not managing your actions correctly when it comes to emotions. I see a lot of impulsivity, acting on emotions, and things like this. Okay, we have a Moon. Yeah, there's a lot of being blinded by emotions, just acting through those emotions, how you feel, how the other person feels, and it just makes it really messy and confusing and delusional. And I feel like there's just a lot of emotional type of control going on, where emotions are taking over, where emotions are the priority in the relationship. And I feel like it's kind of controlling the way the relationship is going right now, okay? So I feel like that's an important point here, okay? And we have the Six of Cups reversed here, okay? I'm getting a lot of holding on energy, okay? A lot of codependency energy, a lot of like also nostalgia, going back to the past, okay? So I feel like there is a certain, for some of you, there may be a certain kind of unhealthy attachment towards this relationship, where you are holding on back to, where you're holding on to how things were, you know, how things used to be. So also some of you, I feel like there's also an issue of holding on to the past. You guys, this is a general collective reading, so I'm getting a lot of messages here, so try to pick up something that resonates with you, because it might be from a lot of people. So as I'm saying, with some of you, I'm getting here some kind of codependency attachments issues, you know, where you're too attached to how things were, how good it was, you know, to those nostalgic nice things, and you're not maybe seeing exactly through reality. For over some of you, I'm getting like also being too attached to how things were, to the past, and not willing to let it go to create this new beginning with that person. So really takes whatever resonates with you. But what all of you can take up from this reading is definitely being letting emotions control the situations way too much. So that's what I would say. Emotions are taking way too much of a priority in this connection, and I feel like it's affecting the relationship way too much and kind of like controlling it, you know. As you can see, there's like these two people being totally controlled by this moon, which is those feelings, you know. And I feel like you might be, you know, arguing or saying certain stuff or doing certain stuff, and I feel like it's way too much affected by this the feelings you have, both of you, you know, or one of you. But it's definitely not in a way of, oh, it's one person's fault, definitely not. But generally the relationship is way too much controlled by feelings, emotions, acting on anger or sadness or triggers or traumas or whatever it is. Really, it just feels like this relationship isn't really about both of you, it's just about feelings, you know. It's about, you know, expressing both of your feelings in a certain unhealthy way, you know. With this King of Cups reversed, I'm getting like very... Sorry for that, guys. My camera cut off because I didn't know there was a limit on 4K recording, so I had to install a different app. But getting back to that, we were on the moon, which is where your emotions and your partner's emotions, this relationship is way too much controlled by emotions. There is a you know, the improper management of emotions and feelings and how they control both of you in this relationship. Second of all, we have this Six of Cups reverse, which tells me about too much focus on the past. So it might be either, depending on your situation, it might be either that you hold on too much on the past that was bad and you cannot see the good in the current relationship, or quite the opposite, where you focus too much on what was in the past that was positive and you don't see the reality of things that is now, and you cannot genuinely decide if it's something you want to be in or not, you know. But I feel like most of you just have to kind of decide if you want to like put more of energy into it, or you decide to move on. But I feel like there's just this conflict, you know. But I feel like what the focus should be actually in this relationship is not leaving or staying, but rather learning how to difference how the feelings control the situation and how actually the situation is, you know. Because I feel like there's too much tension and problem that revolves around the emotions and you, both of you, acting on them. Because as you can see, those two people are here like attached to the strings and controlled by this moon, which in this situation would be your emotions, you know. And there is just so much of this going on. But you know what, this means just being very manipulated and controlled by something, you know. And I feel like there's just too much in this situation. You have to kind of realize how much of it is actually affecting the situation, you know, because maybe the issue that occurs here is not really as bad as those reactions here and emotions make it look like from both of you, you know. So that's what I'm getting here, you know. Now I pulled out some cards from this deck for you, which was supposed to give you more sorry, I'm trying to check if it still records, but this card was supposed to give you more of an honest truth, something you should know, group number one, about this situation currently, and you got Three of Pentacles. And this card tells me that there's too much focus on the detail, and you should maybe take a step back and look at the things more objectively, because I feel like those feelings and those little situations that are going on a daily basis are kind of making you blind to see the whole truth or whole picture about the situation, and it can be really difficult for you in that way to decide what do you want. So what I would recommend you, what you should know, group number one, is that you should take a step back and look at your situation more objectively. By taking a step back, I don't mean taking a break or anything like this. I just mean take a more objective point of view on things, okay? Because what I'm getting here is that some of you focus too much about what is bad in situation or on the past, you know, and what you should be focusing on is the present situation. So I would really recommend you to not only difference the reality of your relationship and what's going on, but also like the feelings. So what I mean is try to learn how to difference the emotional reactions from actual situation, you know. And second of all, you should put a certain boundary between the past and the present moment and learn how to difference both of those, because I feel like some of you or most of you are really mistaking the past for a present moment. And I feel like what this situation requires right now of you to work out or to bring you more clarity is to basically detach yourself from past and focus on the present moment and what's going on here right now in this moment. Okay, so I may get the feeling like some of you are, for example, talking to your partner or to your person that you are having right now a relation with. It might be platonic or not, as I said, but you should look at this person and stop, for example, blaming them or going in cycles about the past and stuff like that, and focus on what can be done right now in this present moment, okay? Of course, I'm not saying that you should work it out and work on it if something really bad happened here. In that case, you should just think about if it's worth your effort or not, and if you should move on. But if this is a situation that is, about both of you working it out, and you should definitely difference the past from the present moment and try to work on what can be done now, because as we say, there's no point in crying over spilled milk, right? So again, my advice based on this card is for you to focus on what you want to create and what you want to manifest in this relationship, rather than focusing on what's bad and wrong about it. And again, try to focus on the situation itself in a practical way, instead of an emotional way where there's only reactions and triggers and just this chain of reactions, emotional reactions. Okay, what else should group number one know? Let's see. What else should group number one know? Okay. Okay, and you got this King of Wands. Okay, so being intentional about your actions, doing the right thing. Okay, so what I would recommend you here, group number one, especially with the star, is to ask yourself, what would my higher self do in this situation? Okay, this makes me really convinced that maybe things aren't done exactly correctly in this relationship, you know. And you know what, it's not it's sometimes about you being the higher person, you know. Sometimes it's you, you know, giving an example to another person, you know. And so I feel like there needs to be this kind of break of ego and pride, and one person just has to stop the cycle of this emotional reactions and change. And I feel like maybe it's time for example, for you to be this higher person and have this common sense that will speak and break this cycle. Okay, so I feel like there just needs to be more priority on acting, doing something right, rather than looking at those little details and just wanting to, you know, explode emotionally and be controlled by your emotions in how you act in the relationship, you know. So maybe it's time to calm down a little, you know, look at the bigger picture and do the right thing, because I feel like most of you know what is the right thing to do here. Okay, so you will know what's the right thing if you look at the situation objectively. Again, I'm so sorry it cut off, but I choose the wrong folder to save it and I ran out of the space. Anyway, let's get back to it. So as I said, so most of you will know what's the right thing to do here. Okay, so I feel like it's about doing the right thing, you know, and letting go of that ego and pride, you know, and taking this time to look at the bigger picture and deciding what's the right thing to do, because I know that most of you will know what's the right thing to do that isn't based on feelings, emotions, you know, temporary grudges or a build up or past, you know. I feel like you exactly know what to do in the present moment if you just look objectively at the situation, what's going on, that isn't related to this overload of emotions, you know. Then again, you got another card which is the Fool. Okay, and that tells me this is like exactly the perfect kind of like close on this reading, which would be the Fool, the new beginning, you know. It's starting something new. And as I said, the important part in this relationship right now is to focus more on the present moment and what you want to manifest. Okay, so for me, this perfect thing you would do right now would be to focus on what you want to focus on right now in the relationship. What do you want to create? What do you want to manifest? And starting putting intentional action into it. Okay, because this King of Wands is basically knowing how to manage your actions, and because there was so much wrong actions focused around feelings, but that was taking priority here, there wasn't actually any intentional positive input into the relationship. And that's why it might seem to you right now that everything is messy or you know, confusing, but actually things might be way clearer than you think if you just look more objectively. And as I said, I feel like it's about doing the right thing and about knowing how to act properly on the situation with a common sense, common logic, objectiveness, you know, a certain assertiveness, I would say. But yeah, there's definitely needs to be a certain refreshment on the situation. But all I have to tell you, or at least for most of you at this moment, is that there's definitely more to the situation, or rather less to the situation than what's going on in your head. And basically, all that is basically making the relationship confusing at the moment is this focus and priority on letting the feelings run the show, kind of. Okay, so yeah, I would say focus on intentional actions, creating what you want to create in your relationship, manifestation, more faith, more hope, especially if it's a relationship you want to work on. And definitely new beginning, new energy has to be brought in. Okay, some new action, you know, just like, you know, if you don't change, you know, something, the cycle will begin again and again and again. Basically, that's the deal here. Okay, so group number one, I would like to give you a card for advice from this love deck, Amor at Psych. Okay, so I will do that for you. I will give you one card of love advice from this deck. I don't know how accurate it will be since I don't work with this deck much, because I didn't do love readings for some time. But let's see. Group number one. What is the energy, the advice for group number one? Okay, and we have uninhabited and artist. All right. Yeah, I honestly feel like this is like your emotions, they are like running wild like this, and it's kind of making the situation kind of a show, like it makes just really messy and confusing, and basically, I would just see the feelings of both of you just like this, running wild, totally like uncontained, and hard to manage, and I think that needs a little fixing and more awareness, and also I feel like there needs to be more priority on um, I would say focusing on more positive things like passion. I feel like there's too much negativity going around, and confusement and unclarity, and I feel like both of you just need a little bit of rest and kind of focus on more lighter and better things here. Okay, that's what I would say. But also, group number one, to give you some more of a positive message, I will pull out some cards from this Primordial Tarot, since it's a very spiritual and nice deck. So I will give you some very nice advice here for group number one. Group number one in the relationship. What advice can we get for group number one? What advice can we get for group number one? Okay, and we have the Child of Soul. Okay, that's a very beautiful card talking about life experience, learning from life, being exposed to life lessons, and so sometimes we think that life is kind of like bullying us by sending all those things, and maybe that's how this relationship might be feeling to you at the moment. Like, it's just life throwing very hard things at you, and it's confusing and it's hard, and it seems like you're kind of at the loss and you're kind of defeated. But actually, maybe it's just an opportunity for you to learn, and as I said, it's an opportunity to definitely learn how to difference past from the present, and difference how, and notice or ever observe and have an awareness of how both of your emotions can affect and rule the relationship on daily basis. So I feel like you should just use this opportunity to learn more about yourself, about your partner, about the relationship, and to basically learn how to different certain things, and to see how they truly affect the relationship, so I feel like this should be used this way. It's not an opportunity for you, or rather for most of you, to drop it and leave, but rather to learn how to build something, and learn how to see the reality for what it is, and do the right thing, and focus on what you want to create rather than negativity, but definitely there's a lot of pressure, and priority on having to difference emotions and how they control you and the relationship from actual reality, because I'm pretty sure that in this case those issues that you're facing right now are kind of easy to fix, or to deal with, but I feel like the most of the confusement in the relationship is caused by these feelings, so let's pull out one more card for group number one to bring some clarity. Okay, and we have the Devil. Yeah, I would agree. It's like both of you are having kind of like a mask on your own, and you're trying to pretend someone you're not for those emotions, It's like one person gets sad, one person gets angry, and suddenly they are changing into those projections of themselves, It's like both of you projecting on each other your emotions and triggers and traumas, and it just becomes like this big mask, and that's why you don't see each other for who you are at the moment, and it feels very unclear, very confusing, very distancing, but it's not the actual you and your person. It's actually just feelings, traumas, and triggers speaking through you, and it feels like your inner child, wounded child, is trying to fight each other, and argue, and it's very confusing. But I just want to remind you that it's not really you or them. It's just, feelings ruling the relationship at the moment, and then both of you being really affected and projecting it on each other, So I feel like it's time to stop. It's time to stop being that, and listening to your triggers and acting on them, and actually putting the mask off and being genuine and authentic in the relationship, and creating something that your soul truly wants to create here. and what you want to create in, because I feel like all this negativity is only bringing both of you into the rabbit hole of confusement, you know, and projections and triggers, you know. So what I would recommend you is to basically just start being authentic with yourself and your partner, okay? So group number 1, I hope it was helpful for you and I hope it brought you some clarity. I wish all the best for you, and please let me know in the comments down below how you're doing and what you think about the reading. Thank you so much. Let's move on to another pile. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye. Hello, group number 2. You picked this lapis lazuli. Very beautiful. Okay, let's see what's going on for you. Let's see what's your current relationship status, relationship energy. Okay, it can be romantic, it can be platonic, but let's see group number 2. What is going on in your relationship right now? Okay, we have 9 of Pentacles right now. Okay, a lot of independence, managing material stuff. Okay, some kind of abundance going on, stability, you know. What else is going on for group number 2 generally right now? Okay, and we have 6 of Wands and 7 of Swords. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is that although you can be materially stable or like in a good material space with your person right now, I feel like there's a lot of kind of betrayal, arguments going on. So maybe that might be confusing for you, because even though everything is great and stable materially, maybe you have an apartment together, house, you know, or maybe money to move in together, whatever it really is, I feel like there's a big confusion due to this thing going on here, which is basically some kind of unsuccessful thing, delay, you know, some kind of argument or betrayal, someone just doing something behind your back, I would say. Okay, I would say that also both of you or one of you might be really independent on your own, you know, and I feel like it might be kind of like affecting in some way the relationship, maybe because one of you is doing good materially and the other one is not, you know. But generally I feel like there's certain stability going on here, but also, you know, certain things not going exactly well, especially action wise, you know. There's just something going on that is a big issue and unclarity in this, especially a lot of arguments, you know, or things not being clear, or intentions not being generally clear, or maybe positive even. But maybe let me pull out more clarification on this for group number 2. What's going on here? What's going on here for group number 2? Okay. It just feels that something failed here, okay? And something was done behind your back, or something was done unfairly. What is going on for group number 2? Okay, yeah, we have the Justice. There's definitely certain unfairness. So from these cards here, I am seeing that even though there was a certain unfairness or something bad going on, I feel like the justice was made, and the person, either you or the person, apologized, or generally the justice was just made in the relationship. Something was paid off, something was made correctly, and I feel like both of you are kind of like moving on forward right now. But I feel like since this popped up in the reading, this might still be affecting you in this relationship, you or the other person, depending on what exactly happened. But definitely that energy still is hanging here and affecting the relationship in a certain way, even though the justice was done and you both are trying to move on from this thing, okay? But there's definitely a certain silence right now between both of you, and maybe that's why I'm getting here also this independence energy, that both of you are maybe kind of distanced from each other and kind of building up your own world right now. Maybe both of you are on the break right now, in a certain separation. Maybe things just didn't work out, you know, things there was things that were done unfairly, things that were done behind some of yours back, things that had questionable intentions, you know. It might be even that you're not even together and both of you are just moving on with your own life, but there's definitely a certain lack of communication and silence right now. I feel like there is a certain trouble with communicating and being together at the moment. So even though the justice was made, the situation did not really cleared up as much as maybe you or the other person was hoping to. Let's see what's underlying under all of this. What's like psychology, reasoning behind all of this? What's going on that could bring group number 2 some clarity on the situation? What can we get from this situation? What can we get from the situation? Okay, we have 7 of Pentacles reversed. It just seems like things aren't working out, okay? It just seems that no matter how much you try, it just isn't working, okay? It just feels that the relationship is having very slow progress at the moment. I wouldn't say that it's not working as a relationship. It's more like at the moment it's kind of like standing kind of stagnant. It doesn't have much progress, and it feels like it's just not working out. Yeah, we have a 9 of Cups reversed. Definitely there's a certain disappointment here, something not coming true. As I said, there's a certain type of failure, but something didn't work out really. It might be also about this material stuff, that something material didn't work out. Maybe both of you didn't get an apartment together, didn't, you know, this or that. And there's just this big energy of failure going on, being defeated, something just simply not working out, okay? It just feels like you were very, or both of you or one of you was really disappointed in the outcome of the situation, you know. It just feels very, very disappointing. It just feels like things paused in one place and they're just not working. It's just not working in any way, you know. It just feels that certain efforts were not met, you know, and there's some need for making this justice and making this thing okay, you know. But for now, the energy here that I see is basically a big disappointment, you know, expecting something that didn't come true, and something definitely not working. There's a big energy of failure and lack of communication at the moment. What else for group number 2 is going on? Yeah, we have Knight of Cups reversed. As I thought, there is this lack of trust in your relationship at the moment, okay? Big lack of trust. It just feels that one person was really disappointed by the other one, especially with this betrayal going on here. I'm not sure what kind of betrayal it might have been here. It just feels like unquestionable intentions. So the person might have done something that on the other hand maybe seemed right, but it was done in a way that was really questionable, and it was done behind your back probably, or maybe you did something behind someone's back. But there's definitely just a lot of this hiding out energy in the relationship that occurred, where one person was doing something behind the other person's back, very questionable intentions, and so there's definitely a lot of disappointment and trust issues right now in this relationship, okay? And yeah, a lot of trust, and I have a feeling like this needs to be fixed. This needs to be definitely fixed, because that's what's causing all the silence, all the stagnant energy here, okay? And maybe that isolation in some way, okay? So one person here is definitely disappointed and really having trouble with trusting again. Definitely something did not work out. Definitely did something not work out at the last point, okay? Group number 2. Let's see what is the truth about this situation that you need to know. Group number 2. Pile number 2. Let's see what's the truth about the situation that you need to know. What's something you have to realize about the situation? What's something that has to be known? What's something that needs to be brought to the light for group number 2? Okay, and we have the Hermit, okay? This card is about going in your own path and finding your own answer, but it also tells me here that one of this person found out about this thing that happened behind their back on their own, and it made it even more tragic, you know. It just feels like something was done behind their back and they found out about it, and it caused extreme trust issues here, okay? Other than that, let me clarify about what you should know, group number 2. What you should know, group number 2. I feel like this Hermit is telling me like there's a lot of distance, a lot of disconnection in this relationship. I feel like one of the people here is on their own path right now, and they are trying to find their own answers to the things, you know. I don't know who was exactly in what position here, but definitely there's a lot of distance, a lot of hermit energy here, okay? A lot of I need to be alone right now, I need to know what to do, I need to make my decision, you know. And I feel like whoever this person is here that is put in the situation where they got this disappointed, and that this trust was really shaken up in them, I feel like they need some time on their own right now, and it's better to not bother them at this moment. What else is going on for group number 2? There's just like this need for solitude for that person, whoever that is. I feel like there needs to be some choices and some thoughts, some answers that need to be found by both of you alone, you know. And I feel like people in this relationship have to come to terms with what they're thinking and believing and what they want to do on their own, okay? I feel like whoever this person is, if it's one person, they deserve this time of solitude to make up their mind on stuff, especially if it was the person that was disappointed and their trust was really shaken. What does this group number 2 need to be aware of? We have Temperance. Yes, as I said, patience. This person needs time. There needs to be some time taken to relax and find your own answer and go into your mind space, okay? So whoever this person was, if it was you, take your time, find your own answer. Don't codepend on anyone to give you your answer. Take your time, make everything peacefully, take care of yourself, try to balance yourself out emotionally before you do any decision first. If it's the other person, let them be for now, okay? Let them be, don't pressure them, don't try to explain yourself, don't try to move in with relationship too fast, don't try to, you know, force it out of them. You know, they need their time, they need to especially if you did something wrong and there is this very big distrust, they deserve their time to think about it on their own, okay? Group number 2, what else you should be aware of? Okay, Queen of Wands, okay? Intuitive action, okay? Intuitive action. Yeah, knowing how to act at the moment, okay? I feel like it's not really your place to act right now if you're the one who hurted them or whoever, really, you know. It's not the time to act right now. That's what I'm getting from this right now. So if you're like in a fight with someone, with that person, or if something happened between you two that has been really big or traumatizing or deceiving, you need time. Both of you need really time and patience with this relationship to ever like work out again at this moment, because I feel like as much as if the justice was made, it still needs time, okay? And if the justice wasn't made, you know, it needs to be made. Especially, you know, if it's you that needs to make the justice, apologize, do whatever, you know, you think you should do at the moment, you know. Because there is definitely this need for time, patience, you know, going into your mind, finding your own answers, making your own decision, you know. There is definitely need for silence, the need for things to balance out, okay? So what I would say is that it's not time for action right now. It's time for silence, okay? It's time to take a break, to give it time, to have some patience with things balancing out. And that's the most important step here. Let things balance out first, okay? Let things get quiet, let things run by their own flow at this moment. There's no need to try to force the relationship and try to move on by force. It's time to take some time off, okay? It's time to let things balance out on their own, okay? Especially if this justice was made, all it needs is just simply time, okay? At least for now, okay? Let me give you some of a positive more view on this from the spiritual deck. Let me see. Group number 2. What is there for group number 2 about the relationship at the moment? Okay, we have 10 of Swords again. This is a storm, a breakthrough. Okay, something big happened. You know, there's just, you have to be aware that this was probably big. You know, the fight, whatever it was, something big happening. It is like a storm. Okay, it needs to quiet down. There needs to be some realization being made. You know, and I feel like whoever this is in this relationship that needs this time off, it might be both of you. This is the time to be silent and get those realizations and let them go through. Okay, there needs to be some kind of mind space right now. It's very important for both of one of you. Okay, so there needs to be a silence, there needs to be realizations coming in and them having to be digested right now. Okay, what else is there? Okay, we have an animal of nature. Okay, and that tells me to look back. Okay, be objective. Okay, look how far it came, how it even got to that point. You know, it's time for digestion. Okay, group number 2, this is time for digesting what happened. It's time to digest the relationship so far. It's like this time where you can step back from the relationship and think about it and analyze it and see what really happened. It's this time that will help both of you to take a step back and have more of a clear mind about what's going on. Okay, so this is really needed. Okay, there's no need to force moving on with things. Okay, if it's not working right now, give it some space. Okay, I'm not saying break up, but definitely, you know, have some space. That's all I mean. Okay, some mind space. Let the other person and let yourself think about it on your own. What else is there for group number 2? And we have this animal of swords. Animal? I think a man of swords. I might be wrong. Either way, this basically means to not be led by your emotions, by your instincts, by impulsivity, aggression, you know, because I feel like there's too much impulsive energy here and trying to force something out, you know, try to move on from something or by force, you know. Basically, I'm getting here the kind of behavior, oh, okay, it's done, okay, let's move on now, okay? No, like, this is not what we want here. Like, this is way too much underlying issues, like this disappointment and this trust and this thing not working out to the point where you cannot just simply move on, no matter how many times you will say, okay, it's over, and no matter how many times this justice was made. This justice, even if it was made, it does not fix what happened here, and it needs time. And even if someone says sorry, even if they try to make up for it, does not fix the damage that was done. And I truly believe that in this situation, it needs time, okay? As a consequence, and this time is the time for healing and taking space, especially mind space. And okay, so there shouldn't be any behavior, your type of you know, it's done, let's move on with it, let's forget it. This is, I feel like this is a very certain big breakthrough here of some kind of a storm. So definitely time is needed and definitely no forcing on moving on. I believe everyone should move on when they're ready, okay? No matter of who you are in this scenario, okay? So definitely give it time and don't try to force it. No one should try to force the situation to move on, okay? Let me give you some card from this beautiful deck of Angelarium. It's mainly like a, I'm just gonna give you like a main energy of what you should focus on right now, regardless of who you are in this scenario. Okay, group number 2, what you should focus on energetically. Group number 2, energetically, what you should be focused on. What energy should take priority right now? What energy should take priority? Group number 2. Okay, yeah, Angel of Death. Okay, we have to focus on this ending that has happened right now. I feel like the situation here with energy group number 2 right now is that part of the relationship, either you or the person, you just want to move on. Okay, there's like this energy, oh, let's just move on. Okay, like nothing happened, like everything will just continue as always, but it's not the case here. Okay, what I'm getting here is it has to there has to be a certain ending of a cycle, okay? This is like a cycle that has just ended, and you just cannot move on pretending like nothing happened, because something happened and it needs to be addressed, it needs to be released, it needs to be felt, okay? So there is a certain ending of a cycle here in your relationship, of a certain phase. Something happened and it needs to be properly addressed, okay? So this taking this time off and having this mind space to digest everything what happened is exactly this ending of a phase, you know, and you cannot just move on without it and pretend nothing happened. So this death here, this internal death of a kind, is a very important step in this relationship. This energy has to occur, okay? The more you force to move on, the more you delay this process, okay? Or you internalize it, makes it even more harder to digest and move on from, okay? So there's definitely needs to be the space to digest it, to move on, okay? But definitely there is an energy of ending, energy that needs to be released, that needs to be cleansed first, okay? So that's a very important energy to focus on, okay? There has to be a focus on this ending, okay? If it ended or not, that's a different story, but definitely gotta focus on this ending, okay? Angel of Truth again. Same thing, gotta focus on digesting information, digesting what happened and realizing objectively what happened. How can we move on from it? How all of the people feel about it, you know? How can we fix it? You know, there needs to be a certain thinking process being done. So I feel like there is a lot of focus, also priority on rethinking stuff, or on realizing objectively what needs to be done, what happened, you know. So definitely death and truth are like definitely the energies that should be focused on here right now. Pile number 2. So pile number 2, all you can do right now is let it rest at peace for now. With this death card, just let it be for now. Let it, you know, die and later on possibly rebloom in the future. But for now, there is this energy of, you know, let it go to the ground, let it cool down, let it steam, let it, you know, like it's already done, okay? Like it needs to go down. It's like a water that was spilled onto the ground. You just need to let it absorb into the ground, you know, for something new to appear there, you know. And definitely use this time to think, you know, try to reevaluate what happened, you know, what you want to happen. Definitely realizing a lot of personal truths, personal perspectives here, but definitely be honest and truthful and genuine with yourself when you think about this situation, about what was done here, you know. This needs to be digested in order for anything to even occur, for moving on in the future, okay? That is a very, very, very important step here, okay? I feel like group number 2, this is such a serious situation for most of you, and there's a lot of breakthroughs and storm going on, and really trying to move on. But no matter how much desperate you are to move on with the situation, or the other person is, you know, this is just, I feel like a big thing for most of you, okay? Something big happened, and it needs to digest first. It needs to rest, okay? I feel like both of you need it, if you realize it or not. Even if you are this person that's desperate to keep going and continuing, even you have to cool down and digest it, because I feel like if this situation will not be digested, nothing will actually change in the future, and those things might reappear, or those things will not actually result in getting the consequences that they needed to get, okay? So there needs to be a certain consequence, and one of them is this space for now, okay? And we have to really accept that no matter how hard it is, okay? Okay, group number 2, let me pull out more cards up for you, since I feel like this is a quite serious situation, or deep situation for you. So group number 2, let me pull out some love card for you. Okay, we have ideal romance and joy and jubilation, or jubilation, however you say it, okay? Okay, I feel like you have to think about what you want to create in this relationship, and that's one of the things that needs to be thought of while in that space, you know. There has to be a certain priority being set of what this relationship is supposed to be, you know, either be it platonic or romantic, but there needs to be a certain priority being set of, you know, what do I want from this relationship? Why did it go this way? Why didn't it go the way we planned to, okay? What exactly happened there? okay, and it's about thinking for the future. If this relationship will renew at some point, you need to know what exactly you want from this relationship, where both people are clear about what they really want, and you know, what would make them actually happy, you know, because I feel like there was also this kind of misunderstanding with the seven of swords, where the intentions were mixed, okay. So on one hand, it seemed like a correct thing, but the other thing it didn't, you know. So I feel like there needs to be more clarity about the relationship, in what are the people's priorities, you know, what are the people's beliefs, what are the mindsets here going on, you know, and how can you make it work in the way that two people are really happy about. Because I feel like doing something behind the other person's back already tells me that there is something going on in the relationship in the first place. So definitely more focus on what you want the relationship to be and setting those standards, okay. All right. So what else can I do for you, group number 2? I guess there's nothing else that left me to do rather than leave you with what I said so far. So group number 2, I thank you so much for watching, and I hope it brought some clarity. Please let me know how you feel about it in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you, and I hope to see you in my next video. Now let's move on to pile number 3. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Hello, group number 3. You picked this beautiful quartz. Very beautiful. Okay, let's see what's going on in your relationship, romantic or platonic. Right now, what's the main energy for group number 3? Okay, what's the main energy? What's the general energy for your relationship? What's going on right now? First, we will get a look on what's going on for group number 3. Okay, and we got those cards. Okay, the Knight of Wands, the Nine of Cups, and the the Hanged Man. So let's see, group number 3, what's going on with you, okay? It seems like there's a certain pause here, okay? I'm getting, first of all, a long distance kind of relationship thing going on here, okay? Especially with this, you know, oh, I want to make action, oh, I'm satisfied, but I cannot move on, okay? So I feel like there's just something holding you back, and as I said, I'm getting like a vibe of long distance. This is this kind of energy where you everything is nice, you want to make action, but you know something stops you by that is external, you know, and that's the type of situation I'm getting here, group number 3. So I wouldn't be surprised if that would be a long distance relationship, because everything else feels very nice here, okay? It just feels that you know, you're ready to move forward, you're ready to act on it, you're very dynamic, like there's a lot of action that is waiting to be made, and you're very emotionally satisfied, everything is great, but just there's something external that really holds you back. There's a certain delay, there's a certain, you know, external thing or circumstance that is really holding you back, okay? So let's see how true is that. Let's pull out one more card just to clarify that there's nothing else going on here. What is group number 3 going through right now in their relationship? Let's get more clarity. Group number 3, what's going on about the situation more? Okay, yeah, we have the Queen of Pentacles, and we have 8 of Pentacles, okay? So definitely things working out. I'm definitely not seeing anything bad going on here, okay? There's a lot of practical thinking also, a lot of like material thing going on here, okay? So I don't necessarily think that this is something that has to do with some material issues or anything like that, but just generally certain life circumstances that are holding you back, okay? Or maybe it's quite the like kind of similar situation where you are kind of working right now, for example, to materially do something about it, okay? But either way, what I'm getting here, group number 3 from this reading, is that generally your relationship is going well, and you're working on a certain thing within that relationship. It might be financial stability, it might be material stability of some kind, maybe you're working to move in together, maybe you're working to you know, afford a lifestyle with them in a certain way, but there's definitely work being put in. There's a lot of loyalty, commitment, you know, working on your material and practical place within them in your life. So I feel like it's more of a relationship maybe focus, where you're thinking about the partner, or maybe it's just, as I said, long distance, where you're working to see them, maybe you're working for money to book a ticket and stuff like those. Okay, so that's what I'm getting here. Definitely nothing wrong going on here. So I'm thinking, what do you need, you know, clarity for? So let's see what's going on underneath that. Let's see what we don't see about the situation underneath. Okay, group number 3, what's going on underneath? Okay, we have 7 of Wands reversed. Okay, it seems like there's no way out. It probably is related to this Hanged Man, where you kind of don't see like the way to move on from this thing. As I'm saying, it's just there's something blocking you out from the situation right now. There's something being on pause, on hold, or hard to access. I pulled a card, but I cannot find it. Let's try to find it. I'm pretty sure something turned around. Okay, we have it here. Okay, and we have a 6 of Pentacles reversed. Okay, something not being received. Okay, I don't know what exactly this is, but I just feel like you know, there's maybe a certain thing not matching the reality, not matching your efforts, you know. It just feels like you're working on something, but you're not getting it back, you know. I wouldn't say that it's necessary about the relationship not being equal or anything like that, you know. It's more of, you know, how to say it. It feels like you're working on the situation and to get out of it, you know, to get out of that stagnant zone where you cannot act on anything. But it kind of seems impossible, and no matter how much effort, you know, work you put into it, it just seems like you're not moving forward and you're not getting results back. Okay, so I feel like you're working something in terms of the relationship, but it seems hard to get around it and then get it to work, you know. So I don't know what exactly this is. I'm getting it's more of a practical issue here. Maybe money, stability, you know, coming to meet someone, you know, living together, whatever it is. But I'm just getting that it's not working out for you in some way, that you're not getting results back in one way or another. Let's get more clarity here, please. Let's get more clarity for group number 3. What exactly is going on here? What is the issue that you, group number 3, come to me with? Yes, 5 of Swords reversed. Yes, I'm saying it just seems like it's not the right time to act, okay? It just feels like you know, you're wanting to act on something, but it isn't working. You know, you want to act, you're sure of it, you know, you're happy, but there's one thing that's just holding you back from it. You know, it just says to me it's not the right time to take action. It's not the right time. You know, no matter how much you work, you're not getting the results back. It just seems like you have no choice than to stay back. You know, like there's no way out of the situation at the moment, and it's like you're fated to stay back by the outside circumstances. You know, it just seems like it's not up to you in any way. Okay, group number 3, I'm not sure what exactly you expect out of this reading, but if this is the situation out of this kind, I don't know how can I help, since it's an outside circumstance. But let me pull out some cards for you, group number 3, of what's something you need to know about the situation that might help you. Group number 3, what's something about the situation that might help you? What's something about the situation that might help you, group number 3? Yeah, okay, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, just let it go by its flow, okay? This is like a perfect card for letting you know in this situation, you know, just trust the universe and you know, wait for your time, okay? This, you have to wait for a perfect time, and in perfect time it will just come true, okay? This is like totally fitting for this reading, group number 3. You totally should trust in the time, because if it isn't working right now by external forces, you know, maybe it's time to just wait for a right time, okay? That's what I have to say, group number 3. What does group number 3 should know? Okay, group number 3, you got 5 of Wands. Okay, this tells me that there is a better way to go about it rather than this, you know. And so in my opinion, instead of putting so much effort in making it work the way you want to, maybe it's just time to just patiently wait. Okay, I feel like you're unnecessarily putting too much effort into forcing it to you know, happen right now, where you can just wait and wait for this opportunity, because I feel like there's something coming in the future and there's just no need for you to keep stressing about it or trying to you know, make it work. It's just necessary. It's just obviously not the right time to act on it, and you just need more patience about it, you know, because I feel like this is like a perfect card for wait. Okay, hold on, you know, wait for something will happen, just let it be, you know. And I feel like you're unnecessarily like causing yourself trouble or stress, or you're wasting your energy on trying to make it work, something that will come either way to you, or not that it will come, but just something will happen, you know, that you know, in this divine timing, you know, or such, you know. So yeah, definitely you don't need to put so much effort right now in it. If it doesn't work right now and there's something outside of your control that is happening, just wait it out. Okay, what does this group number 3 need to know? You just need more patience. Okay, group number 3. And we have a Queen of Pentacles again. Okay, so maybe it's about you having to focus first on some material stability, you know. Maybe you don't have right now the resources you need in order to make it happen, and you just need to bring this kind of safety and balance first, because I feel like you don't necessarily what I'm getting here is kind of like impatient thing where you have half of the resources and you're trying to mind what's the word, not mind, what's the word where you like work on something, not mold, but I think it was mind. Either way, instead of like trying to work on it in the middle of it and trying to make it fast on hurry just to make it in some specific time frame, why not just like relax and first make sure that you're stable financially and stable and safe generally materially before you go ahead and do it, you know. I feel like there's just too much impatience, too much trying to make everything in a hurry, trying to make things work right now, where you can just simply wait and, you know, use this time to become more you know, stable in material sense, you know. So yeah, that's my advice for you. Don't try to hurry or rush. Then I know most of you will be like, but I want it now, but I want to do it now, I can do it now. And I know it's kind of hard to keep such stuff under control, and just, you know, saying just be patient is kind of stupid, and you probably be like, yeah, whatever. But I feel like this is the perfect solution for the situation right now. So, you know, up to you. But I feel like it will save you a lot of trouble if you just wait for this opportunity and act then, and use this time to just build yourself up and your stability at this moment. Okay. I feel like it might have something to do with a house, material, work, finances, you know, something to do with this relationship that needs to be practically done. Okay, so there's a lot of practicality being done. Maybe, for example, you're trying to build a house with this person and you don't have enough of finances, and you're trying to do it like in a very big hurry, you know. Instead of you know, and you know, trying to do things very fast. But why don't you not just wait this month, 2-3 months more, and go into and move into that house while it's fully finished, instead of trying to hurry everything just because, you know. I feel like it would be way more peaceful and better solution than to just, you know, hurry everything where there's really no need. I don't think like anything will escape you. I don't think like you will miss out or anything, you know. I feel like in fact it will be way better for you. It will feel more balanced. Okay, now let me pull out some cards from this deck. I'll pull out just one since there's not much in your situation to say, group number 3. So let's see, one card of advice. Again, there just couldn't be a more perfect time for this. Card for this. This card is like perfect. It talks about the resources. Okay, so make sure your resources are intact first before you try to do anything else. Just focus on building up your resources, whatever it might be about. But you know, it might be money, this or that, you know. But basically, first build up your resources, you know, make sure you are stable, that everything is intact before you try to act on whatever it is you want to act in this relationship, you know. I feel like that's the proper way to go about it, okay? Just focus on your resources, be patient with it, and make sure you're stable before you do anything else, okay? Not that anything super bad will happen, but it's just a better mindset for now for you, especially since things are stagnant right now and nothing is happening. And we have obviously here the card of, you know, trust the universe, trust the timing. Then why not just use this time to slowly build up the safety in peace without rush, you know. So yeah, that I think is very important advice for you. Focus on your resources, and you'll be good, okay? Manage your resources right also. I feel like it's way better to wait this one more month of this pay and make everything in safety without having to overspend, rather than spend everything you have and take a debt, a loan, in order to get something now, you know, and then later have troubles, you know. So just have that in mind, please. Group number 3, I feel like it's very important right now, and there is just such a better way than doing it all in the hurry and impatience. Okay, so group number 3, that's all I have for you, and I hope it was helpful for you. So thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments down below how do you feel about this reading, and thank you so much. I hope to see my next one. Bye bye. Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. So thank you so much. Bye bye.